serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Get some coffee. Maybe coffee with vodka. For the Olympic Games have begun. The Communist Olympic Games. Are you serious? Are you serious? Welcome to the coming apocalypse, and it really feels like it. Is this the games where the bear and the dragon unite? I mean, are we watching Gog and Magog and the red dragon of Revelation forming the 200 million man army for preparation for Armageddon? I don't know, but I'll tell you this. The West is sitting back and watching and promoting on NBC the Olympic Games, or what we should now call the Communist Games, the Communist Olympic Games, because that's really what we're watching. Let me put a shout out right now for noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. Speaking about go for the gold in the Olympic Games, why not go for the gold at Noble Gold? What? That's right, folks. This year's already just whizzing by, isn't it? And you know what? You're a year closer to retirement, but are your savings a year closer? If you're not, and you're worried about it, that you might not make it, you might want to get in touch with Noble Gold. Just pick up the phone Monday morning and call them at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. And put yourself at ease, like Sugar laying here, sleeping and snoring next to me. Put yourself at ease. And it's at noblegoldinvestment.com. If you do qualify and set up a gold IRA for a 401k, he'll give you this 1/10 of an ounce solid gold coin. It's a solid gold collector's American Eagle coin. Send it to you in this nice little case, and you'll be really, really happy. That's noblegoldinvestment.com. All right. So here's what's going on. The Communist Games began. I did not watch the opening ceremony. I understand but it was, there was no question. Yeah, is it the Illuminati Games? I don't feel like it's, sure, certainly the Illuminati is pleased, but there's no question about that, because when you start talking about a one world government, its heart and soul comes right out of communism, because in the things that you see, the oppressiveness, the beaten down, and the restrictions, control, confinements, these kinds of things, they're so good at this, the communists are. And so we may be, I'm not going to witness it. I'm just not going to watch the games. I'm just going to tell you now, I'm not watching. I'm not watching. I'll find out about it. The propaganda, I think, is just going to be so insanely pro-communist that I just can't deal with it. But I will say this, that this is the millennial, the fact that they're using the Olympic, this isn't the first world powers to use an Olympic Games to spread their message of world domination. Adolf Hitler did it for sure in the games that were in Berlin. And so we're watching, like history just constantly repeats itself. And that's what's taking place. But let me share something with you on this point, because I think it's interesting. This is an article by Reuters. It says China and Russia partner up against the West at the Olympic Games. Beijing, Moscow, China and Russia on the opening day of the Winter Olympics declared a no-limits partnership backing each other over standoffs on Ukraine and Taiwan, with a promise to collaborate more against the West. So in other words, Russia's saying, do what you want to deal with Taiwan, and China's saying, do what you got to do when it comes to Ukraine. And what both of these dictators' mentalities are, totalitarian mentality, and that's what they are, both these regimes, I should say, are saying is, China's saying, we lost Taiwan in World War II, we're going to go get it back, and we're going to take more ground. the same thing, Russia's saying, we lost Ukraine and several other nations, like Georgia, Latvia, Estonia, and that other one up there. Okay, and they're all saying, we might as well just go back and get what we. You go do what you got to do. We'll back it, and you back us, and the heck with the West and the rest. So President Xi Jinping hosted President Vladimir Putin on Friday, as the two nations said their relationship was superior to any Cold War era alliance, and they would work together on space, climate change, AI, artificial intelligence, and the control of the internet. Beijing supported Russia's demand that Ukraine should not be admitted into NATO, as the Kremlin amasses 100,000 troops near its neighbor, and while Moscow opposes any form of independence for Taiwan, as global powers jostle over their spheres of influence. Friendship between these two states has no limits, they said. There are no forbidden areas of cooperation, these two countries said in a joint statement. In other words, communists unite. This is exactly what we're seeing. The communist Olympic Games. And the timing of their announcement was highly symbolic, as China hosts the Olympics that the United States has subjected to a diplomatic boycott. Now, the agreement marked the most detailed, assertive statement of Russian and Chinese resolve to work together to build a new international order. Let me say that again. New international order based on their view of human rights and democracy. Human rights and democracy. I want you to see this for yourself. Here it is. This is it right here. If you see my cursor there, let's read that together if you can. The agreement marked. Do I have a full page on this thing? I think I do. Boom. The agreement right there. The agreement marked the most detailed and assertive statement of Russian and Chinese involvement, of Chinese resolve, to work together to build a new international order based on their view of human rights and democracy, based on their view of human rights and democracy. Does anybody know what their view is? Have you studied the communist view of human rights? You won't like it. But if you're leaning so far into the socialistic left, you're headed that direction. Matter of fact, Putin used the occasion to trumpet a new gas deal with China worth an estimated $117.5 billion, promising to ramp up Russia's Far East exports. And the United States hit back, saying that President Xi should have used the meeting to push for lowering of tensions in Ukraine. Do you really, President Biden, with all due respect, Mr. President, did you actually think China was going to try to talk Russia into backing down on Ukraine? I mean, these two are kissing cousins, okay? They are kissing cousins. Now, the United States hit back saying President Xi should have done this, but such an approach is what the world expects from responsible powers. The United States State Department and top diplomat for East Asia, Daniel Crittenbrink, said, if Russia further invades Ukraine and China looks the other way, and they will, it suggests that China is willing to tolerate or tactically support Russia's efforts to coerce Ukraine. Of course it does. And of course they will. Now, Moscow denies it is planning an invasion of Ukraine, despite 100,000 troops sitting on the border. And now all kinds of medical supplies and blood banks and everything they need in case the conflict begins. Daniel Russell of the Asia Society think tank, who serves as the United States State Department's top diplomat for East Asia in the Obama administration, said President Xi and Putin were announcing their determination to stand together and to stand against the United States and the West, ready to withstand sanctions and contest American global leadership. While not formally allied, the two are making common cause as a tactical matter to better defend their respective interests and their authoritarian systems from Western pressure. They have mutual support. These two countries have moved closer together as both have come under the pressure from the West on human rights and other issues. And the lengthy document, nearly 5,400 words of English translation, each went significantly further than before and back in the other on flashpoints of tension with the West. Russia voiced support for China's stance that Taiwan is an inalienable part of China and opposition to any form of independence for the island. Moscow and Beijing also voiced their opposition to AUKUS alliance between Australia, Britain, and the United States, saying it increased the danger of an arms race in the region. China joined Russia in calling for an end to NATO enlargement and supported its demand for security guarantees from the West. They expressed concern about their advancement of U.S. plans to develop global missile defense and deploy its elements in various regions of the world, combined with capacity building of high-precision non-nuclear weapons for disarming strikes and other strategic objectives. Elsewhere, without naming Washington, they criticized attempts by certain states, they said, to establish global hegemony, fan confrontation, and impose their own standards of democracy. Scott Kennedy, a China expert at Washington Center for Strategic and International Studies, said that despite the rhetoric, there would be limits to the alliance, and China is willing to stand with Russia through thin but not thick, they said. If a war breaks out over Ukraine or Taiwan, we can expect his partnership to fracture. I don't think so. I really don't think so. They just said they support each other. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to run and jump in the war with each other, but they are definitely saying, push comes to shove, we'll be on your side. These guys are teaming up. This is the world stage. They are saying to the world, communist reigns. And if you read my book, Mark of the Beast, RFID, it absolutely tells you that these two team up, that I put a Russian in as the president, or I should call him the leader of the New World Order, and that it's the Chinese that will use their superior and use their military force and their willingness to contain civilians. They'll be the enforcers for this New World Order. And it's in my book. And when I say enforcers, I mean on enforcing it right here in the United States of America. You need to get a copy of that book. I wrote it 10 years ago, back in 2011, and here it is in 2022, very, very relevant. Give your life to Jesus Christ, folks. We're running out of time.
Down. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, I'm gonna get up out of the ground. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Look way down the river. What do you think you see? I see a band of angels, and they're coming after me. Well, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. No, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. down yonder, Gabriel. Put your feet on the land and see. Gabriel, don't blow that trumpet until you hear from me. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. No, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Well, meet me, Jesus, meet me. Meet me in the middle of the air. And if these wings don't fail me, I'll meet you anywhere. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down.
The rapture's coming, folks.
No, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Well, meet me, mother and father, down by the river road. Mama, you know I'll be there. I'm a checking in my load. Well, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. No, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Oh, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down.
Thank you, Johnny D. Might have got the sound right for a while. Thank you. Guys, I'll be back later today. There's a whole lot going on in the world. I'll be back. I'll be back.